System right override. Does not compute. Voice recognition.
Hello everybody, welcome to 5 by AI, newest episode here. We are talking about the NFL draft, the biggest busts in NFL history. There's some obvious ones on here that everybody, at least every football fan, knows about, but I'm going to have a different spin on what I think the top 5 is and who I think should be number 1 based on not just because they were a bust, but because of who they missed out on. Let's check out the video now. All right, this is going to be interesting.
Welcome to the show, everybody. We're diving deep into the world of NFL draft busts. And let me tell you, this is a hall of shame you don't want your favorite team anywhere near. These are the guys who came in with sky-high expectations, touted as franchise saviors, the next big thing. But instead of Super Bowls and Pro Bowls, they delivered disappointment, frustration, and a whole lot of what-ifs. Get ready, because we're about to relive some of the most painful memories in NFL history. Let's kick things off with number 1, Jamarcus Russell, the man with the golden arm and the appetite to match. Drafted first overall by the Raiders in 2007, Russell was supposed to be their savior. I mean, the Raiders traded away a proven veteran in Randy Moss to clear the way for this kid. But from day one, the warning signs were there. He showed up to camp out of shape, and his work ethic was, how can I put this nicely, non-existent. He had all the physical tools, but the mental game, completely absent. $61 million later, Russell was out of the league, leaving behind a legacy of unfulfilled potential and enough bust material to fill a museum.
Leaf.
Next up, we have Ryan Leaf, the poster child for how quickly things can go south in the NFL. Drafted right behind Peyton Manning in 1998, Leaf was supposed to be the next great quarterback. Instead, he became the cautionary tale. The Chargers thought they were getting a gunslinger, but what they got was a guy who couldn't hit water if he fell out of a boat. And the attitude? Don't even get me started. He clashed with coaches, alienated teammates, and basically self-destructed right before our eyes. It was a train wreck of epic proportions, folks, and a stark reminder that talent alone doesn't guarantee success in this league.
Oh no, here it is. Here it is.
Number 3, bust. Tony Mandrich, the incredible bulk that never was. Now let's talk about Tony Mandrich, the offensive lineman who was supposed to be the next Anthony Munoz. I mean, this guy was built like a Greek god, chiseled from stone, and touted as a can't-miss prospect. The Packers snatched him up with the 2nd overall pick in 1989, thinking they were getting a cornerstone for their offensive line. But guess what? Looks can be deceiving. Mandrich's game didn't live up to the hype. He struggled mightily, couldn't handle the speed of the NFL, and was out of the league after just 7 seasons. It just goes to show you, folks, the NFL is a different beast. You can't just show up looking the part, you got to play the part too.
Yep. Charles Rogers.
Number 4, Charles Rogers, a career derailed by tragedy. Charles Rogers, the wide receiver from Michigan State, is a story that's as tragic as it is frustrating. The Lions drafted him 2nd overall in 2003, hoping he'd be their big play threat. And early on, it looked like he might live up to that billing. He showed flashes of brilliance, but then the injuries hit, and then came the off-field issues. Substance abuse derailed his career, and just like that, it was over. Rogers' story is a reminder that sometimes life throws you curveballs you just can't hit.
Did he die?
Number 5, Akili Smith, lost in the shuffle. Last but not least, we have Akili Smith, the quarterback who was supposed to revitalize the Bengals franchise.
I remember this.
They took him 3rd overall in 1999, convinced he was the answer to their prayers. But Smith never found his footing in the NFL. He struggled with accuracy, decision-making, and the pressure of being a high draft pick seemed to weigh him down. He bounced around the league for a few years before fading into obscurity, a cautionary tale of unfulfilled potential. Smith's career is a reminder that even in the NFL, sometimes the pieces just don't fall into place. So there you have it, folks, some of the biggest draft busts in NFL history. These guys serve as a reminder that the draft is an inexact science, and even the most highly touted prospects can flame out. It's a brutal business, this NFL, and not everyone can handle the pressure cooker, but hey, that's what makes it so compelling, right? The highs are higher, the lows are lower, and the drama never stops. Thanks for watching. Let us know in the comments who you think is the biggest draft bust in NFL history. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more content.
Interesting how AI comes up with this list. It's pretty close to what I have here. I'm going to have a different spin on this. Let's see what I come up with. Honestly, I have two in here that, well, I have different picks here than what AI came up with. The top three are in my list, but I have two other guys. So let's see what I put together here. Okay, guys, let's check out the tail of the tape here. So you saw the AI video. 5 came up with these top 5. And my list is going to be a little bit different. So honestly, man, number 1, you guys, I have to go with Tony Mandrich. The reason why I'm going with Tony Mandrich is because he was the number 2 overall pick, sandwiched between 4 other Hall of Famers. The Green Bay Packers, after Troy Aikman went number 1, could have drafted either Barry Sanders, Derek Thomas, or Deion Sanders, all Hall of Famers. Barry Sanders probably would have won them multiple Super Bowls with Brett Favre and Sterling Sharp. Now, I know Sharp got hurt early, but they might have won a Super Bowl earlier. And Brett Favre with Barry Sanders would have been unstoppable. Tony Mandrich admitted to using steroids in college. He said he didn't use steroids in the NFL, but he was addicted to painkillers and basically was drunk during the week, didn't show up to meetings, and had a lot of problems. He bounced around the league, and now, from what I heard, he's I guess he has a business where he's got a photography business. Anyway, Tony Mandrich is number 1 for me because there was so much talent around that pick. Troy Aikman, number 1. Barry Sanders, number 3. Derek Thomas, number 4. And then Deion Sanders, number 5. I don't know how Green Bay messed that up. Guys, number 2, I'm going to go with Jamarcus Russell. Jamarcus Russell signed a huge contract. He was just seen as a freak of nature from LSU. He ate himself out of the league. The guy was 300 pounds. You saw the photo of him in the wife beater. Just because he was the number 1 overall pick, and he took so much money and basically didn't do anything in the NFL, I'm going to put him as the number 1 bust of all time. Number 3, I'm going to go with Ryan Leaf. Now, Ryan Leaf was seen as a can't miss. It was almost like a 50-50, maybe 55-45. Peyton Manning, Ryan Leaf, Peyton Manning, Ryan Leaf. Colts made the right move. The Chargers, they got left with Ryan Leaf. In and out of jail, other issues, screaming at sports reporters. I guess he's found his center now and he's good, but he was very immature. For number 4, guys, I'm going to go with Kajana Carter. The reason why I'm going with Kajana Carter is the guy ran for barely 1,000 yards in his entire career. And this tells you how much the NFL has changed. Kajana Carter was the number 1 overall pick at the running back position. And he was on a Penn State team that won the national title. So a lot of hype for him. He did not have a great career. He averaged 3.6 yards per carry, and his first 4 years in the league, he only averaged 2.9, 3.6, 2.0, and 2.5 yards per carry. He only averaged more than 4 yards per carry in his career in 2001 with the Washington Redskins, and that was with limited work with 63 carries for 308 yards. Needless to say, his knee injuries kept him out, but at number 1 overall, I think you're not going to see a running back getting taken that early ever again. Guys, my last pick, number 5, is going to be Trent Richardson. He was the number 3 overall pick by the Cleveland Browns. Another bust from Cleveland, what do you know? And man, he was just god-awful. He got traded to the Colts. They got a number 1 pick for him. So even though he was a big bust, they did get a lot of draft capital back, but on the Colts, he was terrible once again. So I remember picking this guy on my fantasy league and being very disappointed. But Trent Richardson and Kanjana Carter have pretty much destroyed any probability of a running back ever again going in the top 3. Well, there you have it, guys. That's my top 5. It's close. Again, you have your own opinions, I'm sure. Let me know in the comments. There's a lot of other busts we can talk about. Johnny Manziel. Of course, I mentioned my guy Kevin White in 2015 with the Bears, but there's a lot of other guys we could have thrown in here. Let me know who you think is one of the top 5 busts of all time. And good luck in the draft this year with whatever team you're rooting for. See you again next time.